What's up everyone? I have a 5 Squirrel victory for you today, and you might ask yourself how is that any different from the 5 Squirrel victory that you have already posted, and the answer is that this one is done in pack 2, which I think is a little bit more difficult than pack 1. I might be mistaken, but I'm not sure. Also, I should mention that this run was made before the update, so this is the 10 heart life system, and people might argue that this is harder than usual, so I'm not sure if if you were to go for the 5 Squirrel victory in pack 2 now, it might be a lot easier. But anyway, I'm happy that I got it before the update dropped. It was actually, I think, the New Year's Eve that I got this on it. I was very happy about it because I feel like sometimes pack 2 gets neglected a little bit, so I'm happy to achieve some 5s on there as well. By the time I'm recording this, actually never mind, this is going to go up on the day of me recording this, so it's the 14th of January right now. But what I'm trying to say is that pack 4, the golden pack, has been out for a week now almost, and people are starting to figure it out, like they're going for the 5 of a kinds already. I've seen some people do 5 monkeys. I think Akron did 5 monkeys, which is hilarious because monkeys aren't even in that pack. Also, I think Bird of Paradise is an obvious 5 of a kind contestant because it has scaling and is probably actually the best scaling unit in that pack. So I might try to go for that eventually, but I need some time to get used to pack 4, and in the meantime I'll just clear my backlog and show you the runs that I have achieved beforehand before the update. And this is one of them actually, because, well, not because, this is just one of them. And here is the first Squirrel. You'll see that because I have a rabbit on the team already, it's going to be very beneficial to have the Squirrel. I wasn't thinking about going for 5 Squirrels at this point. I was rather hoping to get 5 rabbits. You can see that I've invested some stats in the rabbit, given it some equipment, and even the bluebird is helping out by buffing it even more. But I was feeling that I was going to lose this round because I kind of downgraded my team from last turn, so I froze a snail just in case. You could argue that I maybe should have waited on the level ups for next turn, hoping to find the seal. I felt like I'd rather preserve the lives that I have, because if you get the seal with squirrels in the late game, it's usually just you need a round to stabilize from the transition, and then you can start skyrocketing scaling. And you'll see that later on. It's going to be very fun, I promise you. This might be my favorite combo in the game, honestly. Like, I've thought so much about this combo, how the squirrel's weakness is usually that it can give you discounted foods and more of them, sure, but most foods that it gives, you can see I passed up 3 foods because they were all kind of useless. They were all equipment that I either don't want or just don't think that the gold investment is worth it. But I think at this point in the game I finally transitioned to the idea of going squirrels. You can see I pick up 2 of them, freeze another one, and if you go full squirrels and keep your lives before finding a seal, that's basically ideal. And you can see I'm kind of lucky with my matchups. The team isn't that strong, but it's holding up okay. And you can see I'm kind of getting very good foods. Like, not very good foods, but very cheap foods. And I wouldn't normally consider picking them up, but because they're 1 gold, I'm like, why not? And the rabbit even gives extra health on when the units see the food, so it's just a little bonus on top. And this team, I think, deserves to lose, honestly. Like, it's so weak. All it has going for it is the 2 garlic, so it maybe can take out a summon team. And I'm kind of lucky with this matchup because it's a hedgehog team and I have 2 garlics. And also the blowfish didn't snipe my backline Squirrel even once, so I managed to scrape a draw. I don't know if you saw that, but this is the one disadvantage of running multiple squirrels, is that I had a seal in the shop, but it got replaced by a shop food, which is really unfortunate, but thankfully I find another one very quickly. And this is the transition that I was talking about previously. Like, if I manage to keep my lives by the time that I manage to complete the transition, it's going to be an easy victory, because with so many foods, and if I get the seal to level 2, the stats are just gonna go crazy. For now, yeah, with 2 melons I believe that I lose this, although it's kind of close. Only a 10-10 remains. Okay, maybe it's not that close. But yeah, I managed to even find 2 chocolates. And later on, the chocolates will actually become quite bad finds in the shop, as you see, because the seal, when it gets to level 3, which it's going to get to level 3, because how could it not when I'm finding so many shop foods, but when it gets to level 3, it's not going to be able to eat any more chocolates. So yeah, it's I'll have to be giving it to the squirrels, and that's also why I don't take the seal here, because I'd rather feed it more chocolates and gain more buffs that way, and not get the organic seals. Like, feed it as many chocolates while it still wants them, and be happy about it. You saw that I also picked up a skunk, because I'm still kind of on the fence if this team is strong enough to win by itself. But this final turn is so it's going to need to skyrocket to god status. Even the seal gets to level 3. And yeah, it's basically the standard procedure at this point, but because the squirrels give so many discounted foods, it's going to be even crazier than usual. Maybe even salad isn't a good food to have, because because it's not guaranteed to hit seal, although it is quite likely. And I don't know how often you will see this play, but I'm freezing a salad and not a chocolate, because I can't feed the chocolate to the seal. It's basically a worse food right now. Kind of sad, but with this team I can accept such sacrifices. And probably this team is going to get to 50-50, I don't really remember. You can tell that this run is from a while ago, because it's from pre-update. But yeah, this is basically the ideal setup. You have the 4 squirrels. The only disadvantage is that if you find the 5th on the initial shop row, it's going to get replaced by a food most likely, unless it's the most left position, which won't get replaced by a food. But yeah, it's going perfectly right now, and I don't think anyone can beat me at this point. This team is too good. You'll just be enjoying as I annihilate the opponents. Like, you can see that the opponents at this point in the game have only 1 or 2 big units, mostly 2 big units. And they can't even compare to the 4 big units that I have, or even 5 I guess with the seal. It's kind of big, but not really. There is some tricky business to giving food to the seal, though. You have to give it in the correct order, because if you want the seal to have the best health food, you have to give it to it last. Because obviously if you give the seal like a steak first and then you give it a 1-up, it's going to retain the 1-up, it's going to replace the steak. But that's just some pointless optimizations that you could be doing at this point. You can see it's already, team is nearly 50-50, and you can even see that I got matched against some high roller with Buffalo, Dragon, Bluebird, but I still managed to beat him easily. And honestly, the main debate at this point is whether I should be giving equipment that is actually good to the seal for the stats, or should I be giving it to the squirrels. And another thing actually is that I'm closing in on the 10 wins, so I'm hoping to find the final squirrel sometime soon. I think I find it on this turn, but let's see. Kind of irresponsible if I'm looking for another squirrel that I'm buying almost full price food, but I think I should be finding it. And even 2 melons, which is very nice. I think the squirrels that I have could use melons instead of the garlic and steak they currently have. And thankfully I do manage to find a squirrel. And if you are thinking about freezing a cow, by the way, that would be a huge misplay, because if you freeze 2 animals, the one of them is going to be replaced by a shop food, and because squirrel was on the rightmost position, or not rightmost, but it was more right than the cow, it was going to get replaced, which I don't really want to have happen. But anyway, enough pedantics, this is going to be the final round, and you can probably bet that it's going to be an easy victory. I'm trying to find the perfect order to give the seal food, but it's not going to matter because I'm just going to be selling it anyway. I'm freezing the steak here not to give to the seal, but to the squirrel that I'm going to be including in the team. And I was kind of worried about getting the goat management right, but I shouldn't really worry about that at all. With a free steak and a level 3 seal selling, I have more than enough gold for everything. But yeah, this is going to be it. Like, sub, do all the generic stuff, enjoy as we destroy this last team, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.